Everybody, Chevy, nobody else's auto. We're out picking up another cool old Camaro. We are out in the middle of nowhere. We've got some wind noise. Not much I can do about that, but we're gonna take a real quick glimpse of where I found this thing. It's been sitting here for a few years, not for a super long time, but it does run. We're gonna try to drive this thing on in and head back in with us. We're gonna show it to you real quick while we're at where we're at, and then we will give you a good walk around once we get back to the yard. Here she is, 1980 Camaro Berlinetta. This car is completely original. We've already got it fired up. Hopefully we get back to town with it, don't have any trouble. Like I said, we'll give you a good look at this car once we get back to the yard with it. But there she is, kind of back in an old corral. You see the dirt on the tires, been sitting there a little while for sure. So, but anyway, there she is. We're gonna head in with it. We'll give you a little better look at it here very shortly. We're heading down the road on this 80 Berlinetta. Hopefully we don't have any trouble. The guy said it should make it back to town, no problem, so we'll find out and see. One thing about it, it's about 100 degrees and the driver's window does not work. This car has power windows. Fortunately, the passenger side does. So, got a little bit of ventilation in this thing, but we'll see how she drives. Seems to be running out okay. No weird noises coming out from under the hood or anything, so we're gonna head on back to the shop and hopefully we don't have any issues, so stay tuned. Well, we're out on the highway. We're running about 60 down the road, and so far so good. The old car seems to be fairly impressive for a 40-plus-year-old car that's been sitting for a few years, so hopefully I don't have any issues heading back to the shop. Seems to be driving out okay. Had to roll the window up because of wind noise, so it's getting pretty warm in here already, so we're gonna jump off. We'll see if we get back to the shop and see how the rest of the drive goes. Got a little ways to go yet, but hopefully no issues. We'll get her back to the shop and take a little bit of a look at this thing. Well, we made her back. It's about a 15-mile drive in with this old car, and really ran out pretty good. Front suspension definitely worn out. We hit a few bumps, and you can tell it needs a front end rebuild. There's no doubt about that, but the thing's over 40 years old and it's pretty much original, so kind of to be expected. But anyway, let's take a good look at this thing. 1980 Camaro Berlinetta, pretty much all original. Now, there's kind of an interesting story to this car. I've known about this car for pretty much its entire life. This car actually belonged to a guy who used to rent an apartment from my mom and dad. So I remember probably sometime in the mid-80s he got this car. It was used. He had a Chevelle before that. That's why I always remembered going to that rental, because this guy had a 71 or 72 Chevelle, and it was kind of different to see kind of a cool car there. Well, when he got rid of the Chevelle, he bought this Camaro, and like I said, I think it was in the mid-80s. I'm going back a few years even for me trying to remember. So literally I've known about this car forever, so I was actually kind of excited when I had the opportunity to buy it. So, but like I said, what's cool about it, it is basically just exactly the way I remember it from the first time I saw it in the mid-80s, with the exception of a little more wear, a little more fading on the paint, things like that. So kind of an interesting story. It's the kind of the stuff that always makes you think back and takes you back. And that's kind of what this car does. So I was really kind of excited to get it bought. But like I said, it's a basically bone stock, completely original, never been touched, 1980 Camaro Berlinetta. Original gold paint. Had a lot of pinstripes put on it. I think these were probably added. They kind of wrapped around the side. They've been on there for years. It had one down the center of the hood, which is pretty much gone. So I don't think they were on there from the factory, but I think they've been on there since it was pretty much new. This car, like I said, you just seen us driving it down the highway. Intact, original car, factory wheels. Nothing's really been monkeyed with on this thing at all. It even has these add-on side moldings that back in the 80s they put on so many cars in the 70s and 80s, where they put these on and they put these vinyl inserts in them. Of course, these are original. They're all shrunk up and hardened. But back in the day, super common. Now today, to make them right, you got to fix those holes because those are pop riveted on. But that's pretty minimal compared to a lot of these cars are so rusty anymore that fixing a few small holes from pop rivets, not a big deal. But like I said, this thing had pinstripe everywhere, all the way around the windows, kind of similar like they did on a lot of Trans Ams. Came all the way back down around the back of the window, down the bottom of the door, and all the way around the back edge of the hood. So inside, there again, basic stock original 1980 Berlinetta. Obviously we've got some wear. The door panels are worn, the carpet's worn, because this thing is totally original. Showing 9,941 miles, so probably 109,941. We can look in here, we can see we've got factory tach, factory gauges. Somebody did put an aftermarket radio in this car. We see our power windows, like we talked about earlier. The left one doesn't work, so it was a warm ride in, but fortunately the right one does. Still got the Berlinetta in the steering wheel, factory air, and factory cruise. And then of course with this being power windows, it had the Berlinetta plugs in the door panels since there were no window cranks. But inside of this car, like I said, just untouched and original, which is what's cool about it. Does it need done? Yes, it needs done. Headliner's pretty much shot, seats are worn and dirty, but it's an unmolested original car. That's what is so cool about it, and that's what I'm so excited about on this car. We can even look in the back seat here. Same thing, original seats, just dirty. Original floor mats, the original GM floor mats still in this thing. Like I said, it's dirty, it's grungy, but hey, it's 40 some years old and it's original. You know, we look down here at the rockers, it looks pretty solid. This car's got a little rust in it. We can see some stuff coming through the quarter panels here. Structurally, the rockers look good underneath, the floors look good, the frame rails look good. You know, it's a 40 some year old Kansas car. We're gonna see a little bit of rust in them, we do. You know, a little bit behind the wheels, and it's kind of the same thing on both sides. But as we come around the back of this Berlinetta, super cool accessory you don't see very often, rear window louvers. The tag is off these. I don't know if these were Krager or what brand they were, but it did have a little badge there, but those are missing, but the louvers still look pretty cool. Another interesting thing about this car, it was a Berlinetta. It was the luxury version, not the sporty version like a Z28. No rear spoiler, never had one. Dealership sticker still here. Berlinetta badge over on the other side, never had a rear spoiler. Had more pinstripe on it, we can see down here, but no rear spoiler. Let's check out the trunk, see what we got in here. There's parts of the jack, some other miscellaneous things, and oh, what's this? Hello, 1987. We've still got the bra for this Camaro in the trunk. And actually, it's in pretty decent shape. I don't know how long it's been in there, but there's a bra for it. Park light holes, headlight holes, whole shoot and match, and it's actually, even the back of it's not too crusty. I wonder if this thing was ever used. It's kind of interesting. Don't see those ever anymore, so much less they'll see a pretty decent one rolled up in the trunk. Work our way around this side of the old Berlinetta, kind of about the same thing as the other side. A little rust in the quarters, some rust in the fenders, the side moldings, things like that, but still got the Berlinetta emblem on it. Take a peek in it from over here, just like what we saw on the other side. Dirty, crusty, needs to be done, but still see the original old GM floor mat in it. Let's see what we got in the glove box. Warranty information, 1980 Chevrolet cars. Originally sold in Wichita, Kansas is where this was from originally. Has a little sticker with the VIN on it. Surprisingly, no dealer imprint. Typically the dealership information was right there. A little pad of those VIN stickers must be something to do with what they had to put on warranty claims in 1980, I'm assuming. Original owner's manual still in here as well. So that's cool having that stuff with it. So what else do we want to show you? Well, there's something else we haven't checked out yet. We need to look under the hood of this Berlinetta. We'll come up here and pop the hood. And under here, it is completely original. 305 V8 4-barrel, and I think other than basic maintenance, nothing has been touched under here. As we look this thing over, the more we look at, the more original it looks. We've got the canister down here with all the vacuum lines still intact. The cruise control with all the original vacuum lines. I mean, nothing under here looks like it's been touched. Even still got the hoses for the windshield washers up underneath this thing. So like I said, other than probably some basic maintenance, I'm sure it's had belts, hoses, looks like it's had a fan clutch put on it at some point. But this thing is about as original and untouched under the hood as I think you can get on one of these old Camaros. Even still has the fender brace over here on top of the battery. Even when it had a battery replaced, the fender brace always got put back on. So, kind of a cool old car. It's kind of cool when you look back, and I think of when I first saw this car, you know, back in the 80s, and it's kind of exciting. Even though the car needs some work, it's still kind of exciting to actually end up owning it. So at some point it needs to go down the road to somebody else that's going to give this car the full restoration it deserves. But it's a cool story. I love the car, kind of geeked out about it, and it's a neat piece, especially something, it's literally a time capsule. Window louvers, still has the bra in the trunk, untouched, just a neat old car. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys liked it. As always, if you see anything on any of my videos you like, just give me a shout, 620-786-4428. With over 1,500 cars and trucks in stock and on the ground right now, I've got a pretty diverse collection. So giving me a call so I get all the information from you, year, make, model, body style of what you're looking for or what you need parts for. All that stuff is critical to know whether I may or may not have something that can help you out with your project or with your next project. If you like this video, you like old cars, you like old trucks, you like memorabilia, you like gas and oil, be sure to check out the channel. Check out Nobody's Show. All we do on here, old car stuff, lots of cool stuff. So check it out. Check out the other videos. Be sure to click that subscribe button and definitely click that notification button. We do some cool live stuff on here as well. You don't want to miss that either. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to go take this thing for a spin, and we hope to see you soon on the next video.